Good morning, citizens, and welcome to another episode of Objection Celebrity Court Chatter. How are you guys doing this morning? Welcome, welcome. We are doing a very special episode. I am starting to do on Mondays something called a Monday medley, where we're just going to go through a couple of different cases. So it'll be a medley of different cases. And today's Monday medley is cease and desist. So we're going to be going through cases that have to do with celebrities sending out cease and desist, because that seems to be the case. The last couple weeks, it seems like they're just handing these out like hotcakes. And then we've got Blake 2.0, Lil Tay is what I call her, Blake 2.0, because she's sending out stuff to content creators. And actually, one of the content creators that was subpoenaed by Blake also got a cease and desist by Lil Tay. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into LeBron James sending out some cease and desist letters for some AI images made of him, the first of its kind. And we're going to get into an episode I did last night on the Roblox drama and the YouTube channel called Schlep, and the cease and desist that the creator of that channel got as well. But first, we're going to go into what everyone's angry about this morning. Oh, put up my disclaimer. Thank you, Joe. Yes. I love the chat for reminding me of the disclaimer. I appreciate you, Joe. Before I start talking, huh? Obviously, for entertainment purposes, allegedly, like for real, please don't sue me. As we get into the Isabella stuff. So thanks for warning me as we do that. So last night there was a filing that dropped by Isabela Ferrer. I keep calling her Ferrera because I get confused. American Ferrera and Isabel Ferrer. It's Ferrer, so no A. But yeah, Isabel Ferrer had a filing yesterday, late into the evening, where she filed an opposition to Justin Baldoni's subpoena. Now, as you guys remember, Justin Baldoni filed in court docs that he wanted alternative service for Isabel Ferrer, basically saying that she was, dodging subpoenas. And we did an episode on it where we did Drake was dodging, and in the Drake case, Cujo, remember? Cujo was dodging the subpoena, and then Isabella was dodging the subpoena. So if y'all haven't seen that episode, we did do an episode on that filing. Basically, she's, nowhere to be found on the subpoena. And so, that was the last that we had heard. And then now she's basically clapping back saying this is bullying and harassment, that he is trying to serve me alternatively. And so we're going to get into, let me just pull this up here. We're going to get into what the filing says. One of our citizen friends that you guys know that I've been plugging is DFJ. Let me pull up her feed real quick so she can explain it. So here's her post that she made yesterday. And let me make it bigger for y'all to see. So she says, Young Lily, aka Isabella Ferrer, has filed oppositions to Wayfair's subpoena. In it, their AI hallucinations has entered the chat, she says. Okay, well, it entered the chat with Perez as well, but this is the first time a lawyer has accused another lawyer in this lawsuit of citing a case that doesn't exist. So basically, in this filing, Isabella Ferrer's lawyers accused the Wayfair parties of citing an AI case, and they're basically saying that, it wasn't in any filing or anything. It was in a response to them via email, I'm guessing. And so, that could have been anything from like a paralegal or something. I mean, it happened to Perez, and it seems to be like, this has been happening a lot in court cases with the use of ChatGPT. So that was one of the nuggets in there. And then she says, this is docket number 666, which is very telling because it's downright evil. We're going to get into what it entails, but she is opposing Wayfair's motion for leave to serve her by alternative means. It sounds like she's getting her legal arguments from Lively. She says that Wayfair's motion to serve her via alternative means made it seem like she's dodging the subpoena, which has subjected her to internet smearing. They literally cite Reddit post and a TikTok. And if you guys want to get into the reading of those filings, um, go follow Elsrich if you're not already following her at Elsrich. She did a show last night with one of our favorites, Court of Random Opinion, Lauren. Let me pull up hers too. So go give them a follow at Lethal Lauren 904 and at Elsrich. They did a show last night right here. Breaking news: Isabella's on the docket. That was so hilarious. If you want laugh out loud, ribs hurting, because when I was reading it, I was like literally raging out. And then when they were reading it, it was not as ragey. It was kind of funny. And you guys know Elsrich always with the laughs. And she reads those Reddit messages and the TikTok messages, or the Instagram DM. Sorry, it's Instagram DMs and Reddit posts, and they read them, and it is just so hilarious. Elsrich she has a knack for comedy, and if you don't want to rage out and you still want the tea on what was in those messages, um, for sure go watch this video. I know she dropped another shorter one. She just premiered another shorter one a little while ago, 21 minutes ago. So this is like a little bit of the shorter version. But if you want to go watch the live is hilarious. I had so much fun watching it last night. And it kind of took the burn off of this like crazy document that had me raging out. So I did tell her, like, I'm glad that you that you did it. Hey everyone, we got a couple more people coming in. Hi Annie. How are you? Joe says, so her and the rest of the cast are ganging up on Justin, isolating him during the promotion, and it ends with us was fine. Yeah, so she talks about bullying and harassment, and it's like, oh, well, is this fine? Like, you guys started, like, you guys were the ones who bullied him and isolated him over, and I always say this, if those allegations, big if, those allegations were even to be true, did that warrant going into the basement? Like, what are we, 12? Like, it's just, there was nothing like, over the top, unless there's other charges that we don't know about that, he couldn't even be in like the same vicinity. But if they could be in the editing bay together, but yet they couldn't be at the premiere, like this isolation, like, I don't know how they're going to explain that in the trial or anything, because to me, it's, inexplainable. So yeah, so continuing on with DOJ's post, it says, um, but meanwhile, she's opposing being served the subpoena. And so that's what I was saying. It's like she's saying that the public went after her because they filed alternative service. And there's a line in there that says that that she was, dodging service. They made it seem like she had gotten served and that she was dodging it. And it's like, no, we knew she hadn't gotten served, but yet we're making the conclusion that she's dodging it because she's not responding. And they've been trying to subpoena through her lawyers, they've been trying to, get it to her, like serve it to the lawyers, and her lawyers are not responding to get served. So we are to assume that, she's dodging the subpoena. Otherwise, why wouldn't her lawyers accept it? And then there's a part in there where they say in the email, or they say, they went to these two properties that she doesn't even live in, and all they had to do was like email her to let her know they were trying to subpoena her. But it's like, but at the same time, you're saying you don't want the alternative service, which would be an email. It's like they play so many games and gaslight that it's literally so crazy. It says she was already served by Blake Lively in February. And says that the Wayfair parties can get the same production of documents from Lively. So she's saying this is unduly burdensome. She's already provided them to Lively. She says Wayfair didn't want to sign her request for lawyer fees that her contract allowed until she accepted the subpoena. So, and then claims that Wayfair didn't seal her address, which in the server, when the process server filed the exhibit, when they filed the exhibits of what the process servers went through, Like, I try to do this, I try to do that. The addresses were not redacted. But Lively has done the same thing. And why does it matter if she doesn't live there? She literally says in there that these are not her residences. So, in the same sentence that she's worried about, she's saying I'm being doxxed, then she admits those aren't her residences. So, it's really weird. And the part about the lawyer fees, I'm going to have our little girl attorney explain what that is, because it's a process called indemnification. And she's better at explaining it than I am. So hopefully the audio works. I know I've been having problems with StreamYard audio, but let's see if it works. If you guys don't follow at Little Girl Attorney on TikTok, she's great. She explains it. Same thing as like Not Actually Golden. They're my two favorite TikTok attorneys. And, they kind of explain like the terms or anything that we as laymen don't really understand. They're really good at that and breaking it down. So here she's going to explain what indemnification is and what she's claiming. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for y'all.
Aspect of that process for the employee as if it was their own. So, for example, if I'm an employee of company X, somebody comes at me and sues me personally, not company X, then company X could indemnify and should indemnify me, meaning they provide my legal representation in the lawsuit if it relates to my employment. So the dispute that they appear to be having has to do with the extent of that control of that indemnification. It seems to have led down to the path of arbitration, meaning that the two sides didn't agree to what extent that indemnification extended and how it operated. So they needed an arbitrator to intervene and help them resolve that dispute. The crux of their disagreement appears to be on how the subpoena that Lively issued to Ferrer, how that's responded to. Based off of what's presented in this motion, it appears that Wayfarer had said that we will control the response to the subpoena since we're indemnifying you. And Ferrer said, no, I want to be able to control what is produced and I want to be able to control who I hire to represent me. But I expect you, Wayfarer, to just pay for it. We don't have the other side of the story to this. We just have what's presented here in this opposition. This was not an issue that Wayfarer brought forward to the court. It's an issue that Ferreira is bringing to the court. So that's pretty much all we can glean based off of this filing.
So I suggest you guys go watch her video. The beginning of it is really good, and so is the end of it. I don't want to play it all here because I do want you guys to go support her over on TikTok. But basically, summing it up is she goes on to say that she doesn't believe that the judge is going to rule on any of that stuff. He's going to rule on whether or not there's alternative service. Like if he's going to say yes, you can serve her, or no, you can't. And seeing as how he's already let the lively parties have alternative service, through LinkedIn and Instagram. I don't know what other. I think one of them was. Oh no, that was the Drake case where they just had to put it on the neighbor's door, which I thought was really weird. But so she was saying that this is kind of like a normal thing. She's saying like, oh, he's bullying me because he wants to control how I respond to lively subpoena and stuff. Normally, and from what I've seen from other attorneys talking about this, is that the indemnification process is, the employer does kind of tend to control it because it's liabilities for the companies and things like that. So it all has to be like on one single page. So she's basically made a statement that it was kind of like a quid pro quo, that they told her, you accept this subpoena and then we'll let you have your own lawyers. If you accept our subpoena from Wayfair, we'll let you have your own lawyers and, control your subpoena. And she was like, no, it shouldn't be tied together. So it seems like they're trying to claim that this is bullying and harassment, but none of this would come to play if she would just let herself get served. So here's the other DFJ post that I wanted to highlight, which was everybody last night. Isabella Ferrer, I have no words. Calling it Baldoni party instead of Wayfarer party. And Little Girl Attorney goes into that in her video as well, as to like why they would do that. So in the filings, instead of calling them Wayfarer parties, she says Baldoni and his affiliated entities. Here you go. Baldoni and his affiliated entities, collectively known as Baldoni. And then DFJ puts it's Wayfarer parties, not Baldoni, you moron. Yeah, and so here's where it says from that point forward, Baldoni has tried to manipulate, threaten, control, manipulate and threaten. I mean, those are Ryan and Blake. Didn't they try to make Jamie Heath and Baldoni sign that? And of course, I have my banner allegedly. Didn't they try to manipulate and threaten them into signing that statement saying that they were at fault back when they had the WME? They were threatening them with that. And so I'm like, okay, what is this? And otherwise acting inappropriately towards Miss Ferrer. They just want to serve her. In fact, Baldoni's legal team has gone as far as citing a phony case, and that's where they say about the phony case, and that they were publishing personal identity. So they're basically trying to like make him look bad to the judge. And who else had that MO? If you guys recall, who else has been doing that? Blake Lively, and everybody was clocking that. They were like, this seems, and even Little Girl Attorney does at the end of her video, they're like, it seems like it was being coached, obviously allegedly, but it seems like they were cooperating with a Lively's team, because it's the same verbiage, it's the same attacks, and they don't make sense. Saying you were served a subpoena by Lively, therefore it's harassment for Wayfarer party to serve you one, is yet another attempt to manipulate the press to create havoc on a young, up-and-coming, and talented actress, is what they said. That this is like a PR stunt that they did that. No. How many times did Blake Lively try to file an alternative service? We didn't say that was a PR stunt. She did it for Case and Coslow. She did it for that Matthew guy, another employee. And then how many times were they doxing, third-party citizens? And they're asking for sanctions. It's 23 pages. I'll link it in the description when I get done. Hopefully, maybe if one of the mods can remind me to link it, because I've been trying to do better about linking it after. But yeah, so it was 23 pages, and then there was another one that was 60 pages. So it was a really long one, and it really pissed a lot of people off. So yeah, we'll see where the lawyer stands with that. DFJ says the filing was a PR hit piece. And it was, because this is why a lot of people are saying that it said Baldoni, 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 because then it looks like it's Baldoni that's doing it when it should be the Wayfarer parties. I'm interested to see Ashley's opinion on it, if that's like keyword manipulation or SEO. You know me, I'm always like SEO everything, but not everything's always SEO. But I'm wondering if it is or not. Oh, okay, at the Little Girl Attorney. Okay, thanks for linking her. And at DFJ also has a YouTube channel. If you guys are not following her on YouTube, we're gonna show her song at the end of this. You guys know how we always do a song. She just put out a new song, and make sure you guys give her a follow over there. She's trying to reach 500 followers, so we can get her on some lives. She's got some really good videos on the Stephanie Jones case, that are very, very compelling. I mean, that's like a side case that a lot of us forget about, but she's brought it back to the forefront. And then obviously her new song, we're going to play it at the end. But that is oh, hey, Elizabeth, good morning. Yes, it was so sad. It really is a mini me of Blake. And I kind of wanted to put all the bad comments, but I only picked this one that I thought was because there was like a lot of replies to my posts and stuff that I had made, but I picked this one because it says, this line in particularly pissed me off the most. It says, the allegations against Baldoni are those that mimic a harasser, and his recent actions surely support that view. Basically saying the allegations that are in front of you, Judge, basically the Lively versus Baldoni allegations, mimic a harasser. and his recent actions surely support that was true. And so this was not written by Isabella, and you know what, she honestly drew like, what is it called, drew the line in the sand. um and it was just like something that, you guys remember Timu Thor, aka Brandon Sklenar, right? When Timu Thor like drew his line in the sand, like the backlash was crazy, and we always felt sorry for young Lily. I remember Bohemian Diva and all her TikTok videos. She'd be like, "You know what? We're not gonna mess with young Lily or young what was his name? Alex, the guy who played young Timu Thor." Um, and so we're like, we're not gonna mess with them. Um, and now it's like we thought that she was innocent and was just, being manipulated by Blake Lively and all this stuff. And no, like actually, she was probably in on the plot, allegedly for entertainment purposes. But now I feel like she was in on it, and that she's going to, basically go back on whatever email that she wrote, that email that she had written to him, or the text message, because how is she going to change her story now? She sent that message. She's going to have to account for that. I'm not sure if, we know that Ryan and Blake offered Baldoni sign this or else. Are they threatening her? We know Timu Thor got all these, he got all these like, movies allegedly for entertainment purposes, that were Reynolds adjacent, up and coming. He's got like 4 or 5 movies that are all like either through Apple TV. Like it's all, I have a full thread on it of how he's like adjacent. And we know from Paul Feige himself, who said that it was Blake Lively the reason why he was hired for The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney. So one of them at least is verified that it was, um, that he got that job through uh, oh, sorry, I'm over here looking at the chat. Hey, Leanne, it's the same link. Do you have the link? Because I'd have to send you the link. Hold on. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. Hey, do you have the link? Try the link, the normal link, and see if that works. And if not, I'll send you a link. So that's like the gist of the Isabella and Baldoni stuff. So y'all go check out Elsrick's video, Little Girl Attorney. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot more content today from Zach and Donna and have their take on it. So I'll leave you guys with that. That's basically her trying to stop the subpoena as we get into the Monday medley. And let's bring on Leanne.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Well, yes, good morning.
Oh, it's afternoon over there for you across the pond, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we're about to get into some other cases. Did you have anything to say on the Isabella Ferrer stuff?
Yeah, I'm just swinging in very quickly because I'm on the thread. I'm dealing with the thread with it.
Oh, okay.
But I think this guy is so bitter. I think it's the lawyer. I think he's holding a grudge from his thing with
Oh,
Friedman.
okay. So to update you citizens, the lawyer for I believe I posted that. Let me go see if I can find it. The lawyer for Isabella Ferrer is adjacent to Ryan Reynolds. Let me bring up that
Yeah,
post.
there's links. There's quite a few actually. I found a few. So the lawyer has represented a guy called Michael Gassan, who has done a few interviews and various things with Brian Reynolds. But the lawyer, Sanford Michelson, he has actually had whilst representing Michael Gassan in a case against, I can't remember who it was against, but Brian Friedman was representing the opposition. And they got into a huge argument and fight, and Friedman called him a pathological liar, and Michelson tried to sue him, and the case got dismissed.
Yeah. So
But
that's
having read this motion, I'm allegedly starting to see why he called him it in the first place. It's wild.
So it says, last year, Media Link founder Michael Kazan sued him for defamation for allegedly trying to tarnish his reputation at the direction of UTA in a bid to prevent employees and clients from following him to his next venture. The allegedly defamatory statements concerned Friedman, calling Kazan a pathological liar. The lawsuit was later dismissed. And so here we also have, this is Same Girl, Different Time on TikTok. I really love her stuff. She does great sleuthing. So if y'all are on TikTok, go follow her at Same Girl, Different Time. And she broke these news. Sanford L. Michaelman has asserted that Isabela Ferrer is his client and is now refusing to accept service from Brian Friedman's legal team, which we just talked about. It's like, he's like, why don't you just email her? Well, they try to email you with it. It's crazy how they're like, we don't know her when it comes time to sue.
It's like all the way through. He's like, oh, well, she didn't know they were trying to serve her a subpoena. It's like, well, she does now.
Yeah,
why are you fighting it?
Like it's simple for the judge. It's like they just say it in there, like all they had to do was email her. So then, yeah, say alternative service is email. Like she's accepting that. Her own lawyers are saying that that's all Wayfair had to do. So then it says Michaelman represented Michael Kazan, what we just showed y'all, Justin's attorney, and that's the only connection. Look at these two. So let's look at this connection. A keynote conversation between Michael Kazan, so not her lawyer. So her lawyer's not adjacent per se. It was her lawyer represented this guy, Michael Kazan, who did a keynote conversation with Ryan Reynolds. So it's like 2 degrees, but still adjacent.
So that keynote conversation. I've got a link to the actual the interview itself, and that was like part of the Cannes Lions thing. The the revolution, or was it like an industry creative vision type, I don't know, thing that they, where they all talk to each other and have a little festival. Which Michael Kazan, if I remember correctly, he's the one who started Cannes Lion. But also I found another interview as well, a separate interview from that, where they kind of talk together and they seem quite friendly. So I don't know. It was good enough for Lively to make the connection to Perez being Brian Friedman's former client. So
yeah, and it's like, I mean, obviously this guy knows Kazan. Kazan was a client of this lawyer, so they have a connection enough to where like now you can see that allegedly again they might have colluded on this filing because it's the same verbiage, right? Like, didn't you get that same feeling like of Ezra?
yeah. I did. There was a couple of things that really stood out. Is one, this is not the first time Lively would have strategically had a hand in, someone in hiring or recommending someone's previous lawyer. As you remember, her Texas lawyer used to be Jed Wallace's in his Bam Margera case. And yeah, I mean, the wildest thing about this is how many times he doesn't have a go at Wayfarer as a whole. It's Baldoni, just Baldoni. But then he goes on about all the attempts to dox that Baldoni's done, and I'm sitting here thinking, what?
Yeah.
Did you not see everything that Lively's done?
Yeah, and it's like the same. It's like that projection thing that they keep doing. Like, for me, but not for me. DFJ says he can hold a grudge with Freeman all he wants without claiming his client was Me Too'd by a stupid subpoena. Because yeah, that's what people were saying. That it sounded like she was the language that was being used. Like control and harassment.
Yeah, it was wild. And the thing is, right, is he tries to say, well, she's already complying with one subpoena, so why does she have to repeat it? But Baldoni's subpoena is not asking for the same things that Lively's did. Lively was just asking for communications during the production. Baldoni's is asking for other things like communications during the marketing. So these are different things. Besides which, if she only just produced them to Lively, then just make a copy and hand them over.
He only requested 7 things from her, not even anything like crazy. It was just like communication between Baldoni, between Heath, between Lively, anything to do with discrimination or harassment. And the one that she's fighting is the one you're just talking about, is the request for any of the information he gave to Blake Lively in her subpoena, which legally, right, speaking legally, he has the right to, right? Eventually, he's gonna get that stuff anyways, right?
Yeah, and the worst thing is, right, is she is paying that she's got them now paying her lawyers for all of this crap. So the financial burden's not even there anymore, right? And like there's so much misrepresentation as well. I'm really disgusted, actually. Like, but the misrepresentation, oh well, they tried to take control of what we were saying because of this clause. Well, that's not actually what happened. All they said is, well, you know, are you wanting us to represent you? It's kind of like a standard thing. Like, yeah, we'll indemnify you, but a lot of the time the indemnity also includes, you know, does that mean you want us to represent you? And he's twisted that into, you're trying to take control and stop her from saying what she wants to say, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not what happened. You know, you'll see it. I'm really kind of like, this goes way beyond anything Lively's tried to pull.
Anna says, I'm worried about Isabella. This whole situation feels off. Is she being controlled, threatened, blackmailed? Sounds nothing like the voice in the text messages, regardless of what she's saying. And I'm
No,
like,
it doesn't.
I'm beyond worried. I'm like anti Isabella now. I'm like,
yeah. I would be surprised if he was putting out stuff that without her knowledge or her hold on, or without her knowledge or her consent to do so, you know, because that's what happens is the lawyers draft something, send it to their client for approval. But the language is very kind of aggressive. Doesn't sound like anything she would say. I don't see how this is harassing though either. Like why is the mere act of a subpoena harassing when she was okay with Lively's? Is it the first person to get to her she's good with, and the other one's just got to jump through hoops? I don't understand how she's trying to fudge that, but yeah, it's weird. And there's an overuse of the word harasser and then attaching it specifically to Baldoni, not Wayfair, Baldoni. Makes me rather uncomfortable because it kind of shows then that they're just throwing these definitions around, like, you know, they have no meaning to them.
yeah. Joe Abadi says the Wayfair party should just withdraw the subpoena, rendering it mute, and then just emailing her. Well, they're not going to pull that's something the
They
Lively
can't,
people did.
because we're past the deadline, so this has got to be, you know, now enforced, because the deadline was the
they're just going to
15th.
reply, right? They're about
Yeah.
to reply to this opposition.
Oh yeah, they're going to reply.
DFJ says, I've never had a lawyer not send me a draft first. So, you know, some people assume that maybe it was just the lawyers that did it and she didn't know about it. But usually the client is involved in what's being written. I assume I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but right. Doesn't the
Do you know what
client?
I found really weird actually is the lawyer who's done the declaration, which is Sanford Michelson himself, who's like the partner of the firm. He's California based. The guy who's written the memorandum is not. That's one of the New York lawyers. But why is a guy who's in California writing the declaration? I don't understand.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier, Rose, is that it might be SEO manipulation to get people to think that they're talking about SH when it's about the subpoena. And that's the one that I just pulled up earlier that said, you know, like, are they like, you know, he's using the same harassing language that he's being hi Void. She's saying she can't chat, but she can listen. Good morning, Void. And good morning to chat. Thanks so much for contributing and everything. But yeah, so we could talk for days on this Isabella stuff. And you know, I'm sure you're gonna have your thread out here soon.
Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of that. It's gonna take a while because there is just so much to say about this. So I'm forensically
that's what I was saying. I was like, the
dissecting it.
content creators are gonna be out today. So y'all go support your creators. You know, when you guys get upset and you know, are figuring out, like, that's why I put up Elsric stuff. You know, I supported them last night as well. One of the things when you're frustrated and angry, the best way to let out that anger is go support the creators, the ones that are staying on their necks, the ones that are, you know, putting out these stories. That's one way that, you know, you can get over that anger there, because I mean, these people are just unreal. Her plan is for her to not have to turn over tax, is to cry SH, what a piece of garbage. And I mean, she doesn't want to turn him over because God knows what was being said in those sleepovers. They were probably being mean girls. We know they put him in the basement, and it was them four. Remember, Colleen, Timu
Yeah.
Thor, and Lively, and Young Lily. They were all at that book con, and who knows? Who knows what kind of shit talking happened afterwards? Who knows what
And
those?
did you notice, right, how many times she was referred to as a talented young actress?
Yeah, and it's like your career is over before it started, which is what
I
Els
know.
was saying. It's like nobody's gonna
Do
want
you
to
know
go
what the
watch
worst thing
anything
is,
of
though,
hers.
right? Honestly, there was that comment of, well, I was only on set for 4 days and I was paid very little. I looked up how much she was paid, $85,000 for 4 days' work, right? Plus, she was also in a world where there is still an issue with men being paid, more than women for doing, the same job. She got paid $25,000 more than the young Atlas actor.
Yeah,
Just
that's
for now,
crazy.
then, like,
Joe's
but
making
that's
me
just a
laugh
small
because
amount.
Pauline Judas Hoover, like that's comment of the morning. Yeah, the way that they call the Baldoni parties manipulative. Yeah, it was manipulative and calculated. Yep, they shouldn't
Yeah.
have done that. And again, I'm speculating it was some kind of SEO thing, or just to like gaslight and brainwash us into like reading it and thinking it. But if
Well,
you read it, it's just so many inconsistencies. One paragraph contradicts the other paragraph. It's literally like an Ezra Hudson filing. So yeah,
and there was no need for all of this anyway. If she's willing to, be served and comply with the subpoena, which is what is kind of, dotted throughout. It's like, well, he hasn't even tried to find her, blah, blah, blah. But if she's actually willing to just comply with the subpoena, then why don't you just, pass it on to her and get her to comply? Why file all of this crap?
yep.
I
Ooh,
think it is a PR thing, and I'm struggling to say I don't believe there is some connection somewhere to the Reynolds and the Lively's.
yeah, it was just like the same MO, the same words being used, all of that stuff. It was really weird. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into these other cases. Did you want to join us for the last cases, or
I
um,
will jump out of this one because I've got so much to write still, so I need my phone back. But I
you're
wanted
gonna
to
need your
just
phone back. Well, thanks for stopping by because I was curious to see what your thoughts on it were. I know you were asleep when it dropped, so you
yeah,
probably
I
woke up
love waking up to these things. But
angry
my
citizens on X.
yeah, go and look at when my thread drops. Do go and look at it because it's quite explosive actually, and it's probably as frank and kind of the language I use is language I actually don't normally use. I think that is literally my first paragraph starts with,
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
normally say this, but here goes.
Last night when I went on Lauren and Elsrick's, I was in the chat of their live and I come in and they're like, "Oh guys, we can't use the word CJ anymore." And I'm like, "What happened?" They were using it as like "see you next Tuesday, Junior," to
Ah,
refer to Isabella. And so they're like, "The real CJ is here now. We can't use CJ because she's the sweetest." And so then they changed it to in the chat. They were like, "All right, we'll just do JC Junior. See you next Tuesday." But it was pretty
yeah,
funny
she
talking
is.
about.
I mean, let's face it, right? Talented actress. I don't think so. She was hired for no other reason than she looked like Blake Lively, but right now she's acting like her too.
Yeah, and it is inducing a depression slowly, but yes, Cold Fairy, you're right about that because I was feeling like, what the heck last night? Like, I mean, it goes from anger to sadness to like utter despair because even Elsrick was like, if the judge doesn't grant this alternate service, like, I'm going on vacation. She's like, I don't care. I'm taking a break. I'm going on vacation. F this case. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very demoralizing in a way that it's like, who are these people and like what reality are we in?
Well, there is no reason I can see, although this is Judge Lyman, and even I've now conceded, there's issues. We'll call it that. But
Oh, poor Riley. She
but
said she
I feel like there's no reason to not grant the alternative service, or compel even at this point, because the lawyer is here arguing the alternative service. Well, then someone should be saying, here's how to serve her,
Mhm.
or I will accept service for her. It's ridiculous because this is now we're now past the deadline for them to issue a new subpoena, so they've got to make it either be compelled or let it go. And that's just that's insane, because she was there and she's got a lot of information about what happened during the marketing and everything. And you know, what did Lively say to you?
Yep. Yeah.
So,
And I mean, there's a ton that, like, I mean, what was said at that book con, what was said during the premiere, like there's a ton of
yeah.
insights. Riley says she was hoping that they would go in order. Yeah, we started with Isabella because I just wanted to get Isabella out of the way because everyone was angry. That was like everyone's Roman Empire this morning. So sorry about that, Riley. But yeah, you can do 2 times speed. But yeah, I really want to get to these cases before the hour, Leanne. Thanks for
I'm
stopping
jumping
by
out. I'll
and
speak to
joining
you
us.
later.
I appreciate it. Yep.
All right then. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Take care. So we're gonna get into the Lil Tay of it all here. If anyone is not familiar with Lil Tay, this is a 9-year-old. Well, she's not 9 anymore, but she was 9 years old, kind of like what we called Bad Baby 2.0. She came out about 2 years after Bad Baby. If y'all don't know who Bad Baby is, she's the Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil. Kind of like a potty mouth, and she's like a young teenager who had a potty mouth and became a rapper. And so then this little 9-year-old girl decided to go the same route. She would flaunt money in cars. It was alleged that, you know, this is her flicking off the camera. She would just talk like super crazy. And she basically did that for a while. And then now she just turned 18 and got an OnlyFans. So I'm going to just go ahead and play this person that she sued. It's Amala Ekpunami. She has a podcast called Unapologetic with Amala. So let me just play this for you.
Is threatening to sue me. I'm being serious. Now, I made a video about Lil Tay recently, and for those of you who don't know who she is, you can go and watch that video. She has been famous on social media for quite some time for her personality and her posts since she was a very young child. And when she turned 18, she decided to start an OnlyFans. And that OnlyFans made $1 million in 3 hours. But on August 5th, apparently, I got a DM from Lil Tay that I was unaware of, and I'll read it to you right now. It says, "Hi, your video contains false and defamatory claims about me and my family. You are using our names and images for clicks and profit, which is illegal. You have 24 hours to delete it or face legal action." And what day is it now? We missed that 24-hour window, but I think we're going to be okay. This includes lawsuits for defamation, misappropriation of likeness, false light, and cyber harassment. If your content leads to harassment or financial harm, you can also face criminal charges. Some states allow up to 1 year in jail for this. I mean, according to those OnlyFans numbers, which was $1 million in 3 hours, I don't think my content is going to be creating any financial harm for Miss Lil Tay. And I don't think I am at risk of having done anything that she is threatening to sue me for. But you guys can check out that video, as I said, and let me know if I defamed or harassed or misappropriated the likeness of Lil Tay. And if I'm going to jail, that's going to be a story.
So y'all go support Amala. She's a really cool creator that she does like trending topics and stuff like that. So yeah, she was just reporting on the fact that this girl, you know, turned 18, and, you know, because of the allegations that her parents were, when she was 9, you know, it was her brother and her parents. Even Snoop Dogg was in the chat. Snoop Dogg ended up tweeting something that said, like, hey, you know, like it was a video of her brother basically trying to coach her, and he retweeted it. It was a video that got leaked where her brother was coaching her, like, you need to cuss more, you need to do this. So because of those allegations, a lot of people were worried about her, like, who's making her do OnlyFans? Is this her choice? And they were just reporting on the fact that she had made that much money. So one of the other creators that was sued was actually Spill Sesh. Y'all remember Spill Sesh from the subpoenas? The Blake Lively subpoenas? Who remembers Spill Sesh? She also was on the tour with Zach, and she was one of the YouTube creators who got subpoenaed by Blake Lively. So now this is, you know, Blake Lively 2.0. Although the subpoena wasn't her getting sued, but this is actually Lil Tay wanting to sue her. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this of her telling her story of what happened with her.
I made a YouTube video talking at length about Lil Tay and her online journey, and I feel like she only saw the Instagram, and this is what I got the DM over, not the YouTube video, not the TikTok.
What do you mean Lil Tay made $1 million on OnlyFans, saying that she was posting content all made after 12:01 on her 18th birthday? Like, her Instagram story, all content shot at 12:01 on my 18th birthday, only available for 24 hours. Whoever buys this, you should be going on a list. Like, you're scary. She posted that she made $1 million, and the caption on the Instagram post of the screenshot was 1 million in 3 hours. We broke the fuck out of that OF record. Come see content I took of myself at 12:01 a.m. on my 18th birthday, only available for 24 hours. $1 million in 3 hours. And if it's not ringing a bell who this is, like, this is still how I view Lil Tay. A little girl that was making diss tracks and going viral on the internet. And it's been said for years now that her family is like making her be online and make the money. So I'm even more like disturbed by her creating an OnlyFans and like promoting that she made all that content at 12:01 on her 18th birthday. Like, I'm sick.
But she sent me a DM that I feel like isn't even from her. I feel like someone else, like, I just don't believe that she wrote this. But anyway, I'll read it to you guys. And it is from her. It is from her legit account because I looked at it a couple times and I thought it was that.
Girl read it, so I'm just
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Tay, whose real name,
I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the end.
accusations over the years of her family being the ones to pull the strings behind the scenes. That was not just me making that up. That was a ton of articles that have been written accusing her family of this. But I was given that Instagram DM, so I don't know what happens now, if they were actually going to be serious about that. But if we can handle Blake Lively, I think we can handle Lil Tay. This is just such a mess. And I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. Let me know if you guys actually think this is her that sent that message. I feel like it's not, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.
So that's Bill Sesh's video, and if y'all want to go check her out for the rest of the video, if y'all are interested in this case, she breaks it down and even pulls up the Snoop Dogg text and everything. So the middle of this video, it's only about 11 minutes long, but it goes through the whole story, what her parents made her do. It's like her mom, I think, was like a real estate agent or something, but she'd go to these like fancy houses, and all the cars and all the stuff that she was showing off was like not really hers. But yeah, so she delves into it. I'm trying to see if I can find the spot where Snoop Dogg, right there. So she shows the ex post from Snoop Dogg about the tape and stuff. But yeah, so that's the tea on Lil Tay, y'all. She's, trying to cease and desist these creators, saying you can't talk about me. Let me see if I can pull up there's the text. It's saying your video contains false and defamatory claims. And then she says that they can sue for defamation, misappropriation of likeness, false light, and cyber harassment. But I mean, I wish we had Leanne on here for her lawyer take on it. But I'm wondering, like, I think it's a higher standard for a celebrity. Like, you have to have malice or something. Like, they're just reporting the news. Cyber harassment, because they said that it made them sick to see that she made 1 million in 3 hours, and she had just turned 18. And this is a girl who had been manipulated by her parents when she was young. So yeah, that's the Lil Tay of it all. And we're going to try and wrap up here really quickly with the LeBron James story, who also had a cease and desist letter sent out to an AI company for making AI generated brain rot. So if y'all saw in my thumbnail real quick, let me pull this up. I had the little pregnant guy to represent the LeBron story, because they were making AI images, and we'll scroll down here. It says, LeBron James has lawyered up and sent cease and desist letters to the creators of an AI tool and Discord community that would allow users to generate AI videos depicting the NBA player. What makes the situation stand out is that this is the first time it's been publicly known that a notable celebrity has taken legal action against an AI company that allows users to generate images and videos depicting the celebrities without their consent. It's also the first time that a well-known person has taken legal action against the publication of content that they didn't consent to, which isn't just a matter of schmexual AI-generated content that circulates around social media. LeBron James' appearance have been used to create what is known as, quote, brain rot, which would be defined as repetitive, nonsensical content that is yet highly engaging and addictive. Such content often includes memes, videos, and viral TikToks. The tool used to create these videos featuring LeBron was Interlink AI, which is powered by another AI generation platform, FlickUp. People could even learn how to make these videos on the Interlink AI Discord channel by following detailed guides that specify how to make videos of the player. Content of James and another basketball player, Steph Curry, has generated millions of views on Instagram. The graphics showed how AI-generated James is standing near an AI-generated Diddy while he's essaying Steph Curry. In another video, James is depicted as a homeless person or as a pregnant man. And there's one where it's like, he's on a stretcher and he's giving birth, I think. Last month, the Interlink AI Discord community shared that it would remove models that look like real people from the Interlink AI platform. It was revealed that after running into legal issues involving a highly valued basketball player, the Interlink decided to remove all realistic likeness from the site. They also received a confirmation from the founder of FlickUp, Jason Stacks, that the player who sent the cease and desist was indeed LeBron James, and that within 30 minutes, so this is how powerful LeBron James is, within 30 minutes after receiving the letter, the company removed all realistic people from Interlink's AI software. And so this is I am Jason Stacks. I'm not going to play it for y'all, but he made a video basically showing the letter saying, I'm so effed. So in that reel, he talked about the letter, the fact that he created something that was supposed to help other creators make money, but it grew into something that people started to notice. It's been reported that at least 3 Instagram accounts that posted these videos and had millions of views have now been deleted. Once it became clear how successful this content was, James's face was not the only one that was used. It was Curry, Shai Gilgeous, Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, Drake, and Kanye West. And we know Elon Musk uses AI all the time in his likeness on memes and stuff. So various celebrities have been targeted by AI-generated content. However, there are not many well-known cases in which these people have tried to protect themselves from having their faces exploited in this way. So this was the only one where I felt like maybe valid for the cease and desist. With Lil Tay, I did not think. So y'all can drop what you think in the comments, whether y'all thought Lil Tay's was valid or not. I mean, should you sue a YouTuber for having an opinion on, you making $1 million on OnlyFans and commenting on it? It's her comeback. She hasn't been seen in a while. And so, people are going to report on it and people are going to have something to say. That 1 minute after she turned 18, she gets on OnlyFans. So to me, that did not seem legit. The LeBron James seems a little bit more legit, but still, AI content is everywhere. Not everyone's going to whine about it or cry about it. It's all over the internet. I mean, we have that fake Tom Cruise TikTok account too, where the face is AI generated over someone else or whatever. So I don't know, but I mean, at least, I found it kind of legit in the sense that, he doesn't want to be depicted as a pregnant man because these things are realistic. So we're going to move on to our last thing. Let me check the chat. They owe us this much for our investment. Is OnlyFans about feet? Thinking of packing in this rescue business and raking in the coin. Well, that's what Lil Tay, she actually made a video saying that anyone under 25 that's still working a 9 to 5 needs to just drop the link. And that's what she said. But no, it's not about feet. It actually started as a fan, where fans could subscribe for just regular content. And then it got overtaken by nude models and things like that, where it's primarily nude content. But there's still people who have normal regular OnlyFans, or some celebrities who don't do fully nude. They just do kind of spicy pics. But that's what it's primarily known for. What is she famous for? Lil Tay. She was famous for being like a bad-mouthed little kid, like, you know, like those like rage baiting videos where all the comments would be like, "You're 9 years old. Why are you talking like that?" Or it was around the time that Bad Baby came out, and that was popular to be like the bad-mouthed. And then she was a rapper. She was a 9-year-old rapper for a while too. She would come out with diss tracks and stuff, and just be like in Lamborghinis, flaunting money and all that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna move on to this last Pop Meet Snoop Dogg. We don't know him. Yeah, and Spill Sesh is awesome. We love her. I like her content. She does pop culture content. So y'all go check out her. She does a lot of like celebrity gossip, pop culture. And I love her delivery, and she's got like really cool videos. So the last one that we're going to get into as we close it out is our good old friend Schlep. So this is Michael from the channel called Schlep. And I did a show last night. I kind of did a thing, y'all. I did a show. I had a couple citizens DM me on X about was I going to cover Roblox, and so I ended up folding on the weekend. And last night I did a show. So if you guys want to go check out that video, it's in the lives right underneath this one, and it is a complete breakdown. It is an hour long, but it is a complete breakdown of the entire Roblox scandal, so you can catch up on your Monday morning water cooler talk. Obviously, it's already Monday morning, but for this week, this is a trending topic, the Roblox scandal. This is a guy, him along with 5 other creators who make up the channel called Schlep. And we learned a new word last night, y'all. Schlep means something laborious and long. And so that's why he named that channel that, because his channel is focused on catching Roblox predators. And so this is a task he undertook after he himself, as a youngster, was groomed by a predator on Roblox. And so he started to, on his own, you know, seeing as how Roblox wasn't doing anything, he started to go after these guys, and their work, Schlep's work, has led to 6 arrests. And so we get into it on the live. But what happened was that Roblox did not take very well to the fact that this was being publicized, that, you know, this random group of people were catching these predators, and it was making Roblox really look bad. And they didn't want that PR of like, oh, you know, Roblox is a cesspool for SA predators and stuff. So they ended up sending a cease and desist letter to Schlep saying, you need to stop, you know, you need to stop with the predator stuff. They banned his accounts, all of his Roblox accounts, which if he was actually playing on one of his accounts, like his normal account, not one to catch predators or whatever, it's really messed up because you collect a lot of stuff in Roblox and stuff. But anyway, so they blocked him altogether from accessing Roblox. They sent him a cease and desist letter. And that created a frenzy because the public did not take to that. They were like, look, he was exposing predators. And the Louisiana Attorney General got involved. A Democrat from California, Ro Khanna, got involved. There's a petition now to oust the Roblox CEO. And, you know, I got into everything that's going on with it from the very beginning all the way to the end. What's happening with Roblox losing money over the weekend. They're now trying to say they wanted to put out a dating app for Roblox for 21 and over people. And I'm like, why don't I just start a new app? Now you want to add fuel to the fire. There's already like, you know, PDF files in there. Like now you want to add fuel to the fire and make it a dating app. Like why not separate it? It's really weird. Some really weird stuff going on with that CEO. So we get into it all, of course, allegedly for entertainment purposes. Y'all go check out that video. That's the latest on the cease and desist. The biggest cease and desist story is the Schlep story. So we've been hashtagging free Schlep to try and get Schlep back on the platform. And yeah, just to get his channel noticed. He's got a bunch of cases where he catches these predators and stuff. So y'all go check out his channel if you want to see what that's all about. He has this video that I showed on my video as well. And then, you know, this one pretty much will catch you up on everything from the very beginning of what started it all the way to where we're at right now with the CEO, who just actually deleted his Roblox account as well because of all the heat that he was getting. So this is one we're going to keep an eye on. I know I was talking to one of my mods, Christina, last night about how parents can protect their kids from this if your kids play Roblox. I am going to cover that in another episode on once we get more updates on this. Because like I said, there's a lawsuit now against Roblox by the Attorney General of Louisiana as well. So this is one we're going to be covering. I appreciate y'all for stopping by today. I know Isabella is going to be our Roman Empire for the week because what the hell was she thinking? But there you have it, y'all. 3 cases for cease and desist for the Monday medley and the Isabella and Baldoni drama. For those joining us late, that was in the beginning of the stream. Y'all can do replay crew. Don't forget to go follow us over on X. We have a community group called Objection Celebrity Court Chatter over there. We've been getting a lot more members, and so don't forget to give us a follow there. And we have a great show for y'all this week. We're going to be covering Alec Baldwin tomorrow because there's tons of stuff going on in the past couple months with that. He was at Comic-Con talking about the Russ shooting. He was, there's a settlement for one of the lawsuits. There's been a lawsuit dismissed. So we're going to go over which lawsuits are still there, which ones are no longer there. If y'all remember, he was accused of firing the gun that led to the death of, I believe her name was Hannah, which was the director. No, she was not the director. She was the camera girl. And so, yeah, we're going to get into the Russ shooting, updates on that. And Wednesday, we're going to get into everything hip hop. Busta Rhymes is being sued by his assistant, Tory Lanez, in his appeal. And then the latest on Diddy, who has been suing News Nation, who's one of my favorite source of news. I love News Nation. Shout out to Brian Enton on News Nation. I love, love, love that channel. And they're suing News Nation, or Diddy suing News Nation. So we're going to get into that on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'll have the legal wrap up on everything Blake. Of course, on every show, we cover Blake's drama because she has drama every day. But so, yeah, we have a very fun week. So I hope y'all can join me. Thanks for stopping by today. This morning, I appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for the everything going on in the chat. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much. See y'all tomorrow morning.